Hey, good afternoon, Stephen. My name is Jack here with Mr. and Mrs. Leeds. I wanted to thank you for trying out the site auditor. I hope you got some insight out of that. While I had some free time here at the office, I wanted to follow up here with a video analysis of your website to kind of take a look at your website in terms of your SEO and how I could provide some further insight as a search marketer in terms of what the potential is out there and then the methodology as to how we'd be able to rank you to where you need to be if we were to work together on this project. So without further ado, let me go ahead and get started. The first thing I did was I actually pulled up your website here in a tool called Ahrefs. Ahrefs allows search marketers like myself to look at the metrics of a website and see kind of what's been working for you and what hasn't been working for you in terms of your SEO. And so right off the bat, what I can see is that you just don't have a lot of referring domains and backlinks, which basically makes it so you don't have as much authority on your website. And authority is a key aspect of Google's algorithm in determining how high you rank for all the different keywords you want to rank for, as well as how quickly you rank for it. Now, there's other nuances behind that, but as a general rule of thumb, it's a good way to look at it. And part of building that authority on your website is your backlinks. Now, in case you didn't know what a backlink is, it's basically any website out there that goes and links back to your website via a hyperlink. So what I mean by that is if there is a blog out there that says weight loss program blog.com, and in that post they say, hey, if you're looking for a weight loss treatment center in Texas, visit xtrathin.com. And then if the person clicked on that link, it would take them to your website. And so that is considered a backlink. And what you want is a lot of these backlinks, a lot of these other websites that are quality and are relevant to your niche, pointing back to your website, just like how they did with that hyperlink. And you want a lot of those because what that shows Google is basically, you're the kind of website that other websites like to talk about. You're the kind of website that other websites like to refer. And so Google tracks all this data, all these backlinks that point to your website, and they use that information to help determine how authoritative your website is. And so right now, the fact that you're sitting at about 19 referring domains on 30 backlinks is just not enough backlinks to show Google that you are a key player in this niche and that you deserve to hold the #1 spot for all the different keywords we want to go after. And so what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're sitting at least about 300 to 400 referring domains on about 1,000 to 3,000 backlinks, and then start really building out the authority on your website that way, because that's really going to start showing Google that you are a key player and you deserve to be at the top spot, right? Your organic keywords are the different kinds of keywords you currently rank for in Google. So what I mean by that is things like if someone were to search up weight loss program Texas, that would be a keyword that you might rank for. Maybe just the phrase weight loss, that might be a keyword that you rank for as well. And you rank for about 17 of those. The organic traffic is basically the number of visitors that are visiting your website per month organically through Google. Now, you can see how organically you just don't rank for a lot of things, and a lot of that is just because you just don't hold the authority for that kind of keyword, and you're just not ranking for a lot of things right now. And so let's take a look here and see exactly what kind of keywords you might be currently ranking for, and we'll go from there. So it looks like weight loss, Killeen, Texas. So I assume Killeen, Texas is one of your locations that you have this one of these treatment centers for. And yeah, so center, Killeen. The thing is, what we need to do, wow, this went down 9 positions. What we need to do is we need to start hitting these keywords and really start ranking you for those kinds of keywords, right? And so as search marketers, anyone that's kind of worth their salt will actually, instead of just kind of assuming what kind of keywords you should rank for, they'll actually use tools like this that we use to kind of see the metrics of that keyword, right? So what we want to do is we want to go after the kinds of keywords that have a decent amount of volume, and the other thing is that have low competition, right? And so in the SEO world, there's a phrase called long tail keywords. And basically, those are keywords that are longer phrases that are specific to the industry and the service that you provide, but it isn't the main keyword that people are searching for, because everyone has a different vernacular and they have different ways about typing something into Google. There's all these different keywords that people are putting in that aren't necessarily weight loss, Killeen, Texas, or Texas Weight Loss Center, Killeen. You can see that right here in this report, because you can see this phrase right here, Texas Weight Loss Center, Round Rock, Weight Loss Center, Killeen, clean Texas, Texas TX, Texas Weight Loss Center, clean. So there's all these different kinds of phrases that people are searching into Google. And the other thing I want to highlight is this keyword difficulty. This keyword difficulty is basically on a scale of 0 to 100, 100 being the most hardest to rank for in terms of that keyword, and 0 being the easiest keyword to rank for. Very, very easy for us to rank for those kinds of keywords. And you can see a lot of these are 0 keyword difficulties, meaning that they are going to be very easy for us to rank for, and we're going to be able to rank you very quickly for those kinds of phrases. And so that's kind of how we go about doing your SEO, right? So what I would do is I would do some keyword research and figure out exactly what kind of keywords are the most optimal in terms of how much searches per month you're getting and in terms of how much competition there is, right? So we want to go after the ones where there's not a lot of competition because we can rank you very quickly for those. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to on the process of ranking you for the longer tail keywords, the low hanging fruit, we're also obviously going to go after the main keywords that we want to target, right? Maybe something like Texas Wellness Center or Texas Weight Loss Center, something like that, where it's like it gets a lot more search per month, but we want to provide you results as soon as possible. So we'll go after the lower hanging fruit, rank you for those in the meantime while we rank you for the main keywords, right? So that's worked phenomenally well for our clients in the past because we can provide results very quickly, and we can show them the value in that, and so that they can see while we're working on our way towards the main keyword, they're still getting value out of our SEO efforts, right? Because SEO and Google, how that's set up right now, it's basically winner takes all. Right? So if you hold the #1 spot, you get like 50% of the search traffic, and then it just trickles down from there, like 40% for the second, like 30, 20, 10, 5. Like I'm not even going to go to the second page because how many people actually hits the second page for the given keyword they search into, right? And so first page is when you really start getting into so when you start actually becoming a player in the space, and then where you rank in that first page is when you start getting the enormous amount of traffic, kind of as you move up through the rankings, right? And so that's definitely something that we would do. Now, what I want to talk about is a couple of other things that I can see with your actual website, all right? So I like the content right here, your success story. I think that's great. What we need is we just need a little bit more information about exactly what extra thin weight loss is, what you guys do, how you differentiate yourself, right? Actually, straight up in the homepage. A lot of people like to have a ton of content on the About Us page, and I don't like the fact that this pops up right here. What we need to do is build out an inner page actually for that. Instead of actually having a JavaScript built out there. But we need to have a little bit more information about exactly what your website is on the home page, not necessarily for the people that actually visit your website, but for Google. Because what Google does is they crawl through your website, and they can't sit there and hire a person to go through the billions of websites that are out there and figure out exactly what your website is about. So they have an algorithm. They have these crawlers that go through your website, and they crawl your website, they crawl the content on your website and determine what your website is about. And so because of the methodology they go about figuring out what your website is about, they like to see a lot of content. They like to see a lot of content that shows them that shows Google that you're a very authoritative person in the space because you have a lot of content, you have a lot of good information. People are staying on your website because you have a lot of good content, and that all helps in terms of your SEO and ranking highly for the keywords that you want to rank for. And so we just want more content overall, especially on the homepage. What we want to do is we want to build out these location pages so that they actually have their own page for it. So right now you can see how this is a home page. If I were to click, okay, so it looks like these are all pop-ups, which is an issue. We want to build out as pages with an actual URL that Google can crawl and recognize as a separate page, because that's going to help with your website as well. Because when you have a website that has tons of content and tons of pages, just like how the Wall Street Journal does or the New York Times has page after. They have like hundreds of thousands of pages. Google recognizes that's a very authoritative website. And so when you only have a website that has one page, and then you have another competitor that has 100 pages, who's Google actually going to favor more, right? And so that's another thing that we have to look into and make sure that you start building out those location pages. Because what we're going to do is, let's say we want to tackle this kind of key phrase for Round Rock, right? Because there's a weight loss center and Round Rock, you have a weight loss center in Killeen. What we want to do is we want to build out those inner pages that specifically has those kinds of keywords and flesh out a content that specifically targets that keyword, because that's how you're going to get the credit for the location nomer that people put in. So if someone types in weight loss center Round Rock, then you'll have a page that's specifically targeting Round Rock weight loss extra thin weight program, right? And then that's the page that's actually going to start ranking when people type in that kind of phrase, or if they're in that specific location. So if they're in Round Rock and then they're searching on their smartphone, Google's smart enough to recognize where the location is, and so then the weight loss centers that show up at the top of Google are going to be the ones that are the ones that have the pages that are fleshed out for that location. Because right now, Google doesn't know whether to give you credit for Killeen, whether to give you credit for Red Rock, or Red Rock, Round Rock, or another location. And so we really just need to make sure we separate it so Google recognizes, okay, this page is for this location, this page is for this location, this page is for this location. And on top of that, what we can do is we can throw citations at those web pages. And citations are basically any directories that you can submit your name, address, and phone number. It's just another good way to build credibility to your website in terms of in Google's eyes, because when you submit your information to these directories, it shows Google over and over again that you are a legitimate business in this location with a legitimate address. You are a legitimate business with a legitimate phone number that pertains to that location as well. And it all just kind of helps showing Google that you are legitimate, that you're authoritative, and you should claim the #1 spot, right? So I mean, kind of in terms of our on-page SEO, our goal is to just make it as easy as possible for Google to understand exactly what your website is about and what keywords you want to go after, right? And so we make it as simple as possible for Google to understand. We clean up all the on-page SEO, we clean up all the back end of the SEO, and we do all these other little things that we know Google is looking for in terms of what will help you rank. And that's what we do, because that's what we do for a living, and that's how we get paid. We only get paid when, I mean, really, we get paid because we provide clients with more money. More sales, right? So I appreciate it if you watch this video all the way through. I hope you got some insight out of this at the very least. And I would love to just kind of talk to you further about what your goal is with the website and with your business. If you're looking to expand, we can obviously help you with that as well. And then what your time frame and what your marketing budget is. We'll hash out a plan of attack and just kind of go from there, right? So appreciate it again, Stephen. If you watch this video all the way through, look forward to talking to you soon, all right? Thank you.